channel. In this video we will be learning about micturition. The process of urination is called as micturition. The process of urine getting out of our body from the urinary bladder through the urethra. It is called as micturition, and it is a reflex process. That is, urination is not under our control. It is an automatic process. But in case of some grown children and in adults, it can be controlled to some extent. It means only to some extent. That is, if the time exceeds, automatically micturition will occur and it is not under our control. Before getting into the process of micturition, you need to know the basic anatomy and nerve supply of urinary bladder and urethra. So let's start with the basic anatomy, and starting with the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a triangular hollow organ located in the lower abdomen. Urinary bladder consists of a body and a neck. Near the neck region of the urinary bladder present the urethra. And the upper part of the urinary bladder is having a tube-like structure called as ureters, which connects the urinary bladder to the kidneys. The urine produced in the kidney reaches the urinary bladder through these ureters. And when the urinary bladder is full, the urine is getting out of our body through the urethra. So urinary bladder is expelling out the urine through the urethra. That process is called as micturition. So moving on to the wall of the urinary bladder. The wall of urinary bladder is called as detrusor muscles. It is made up of detrusor muscles. Detrusor muscle is nothing but 3 layers of muscle fibers. The outer layer of muscle fibers are longitudinal, and the middle layer of muscle fibers are circular, and the inner layer of muscle fibers are again longitudinal. All these 3 layers are combinedly called as detrusor muscles, which form the walls of urinary bladder. And this is our urethra. The upper part of urethra is having a Loctite system, which we call it as internal sphincter. And again the lower part of urethra is having a Loctite system, we call it as external sphincter. So here is the internal sphincter and here is the external sphincter. Moving on to the urethra. Male urethra has both urinary function and reproductive function because it carries both urine and semen. Coming to the female urethra, it has only urinary function because it carries only urine and no other things. So male urethra is structurally different from the female urethra because of its functional difference. So starting with the male urethra is about 20 centimeter long. It is originating from the bladder and it traverses the prostate gland and urogenital diaphragm. This is the urogenital diaphragm and this is the prostate gland. Male urethra is originating from the bladder and traverses the prostate gland and the urogenital diaphragm, and it runs through the penis. So this is the male urethra, which is about 20 centimeter long. Here lies the internal sphincter, and at the urogenital diaphragm lies the external sphincter for male urethra. So this is the internal sphincter and this is the external sphincter. Coming to the female urethra, it is narrower and shorter when compared to the male urethra. It is only about 3.5 to 4 centimeter long, and it is originating from the bladder and it just traverses only through the urogenital diaphragm and terminates at the external orifice of urethra. So here this is the female urethra, which is about only 4 centimeter long. The external orifice of urethra lies in between the clitoris and the vaginal opening. Moving on to the urethral sphincters, there are 2 urethral sphincters. The one is internal and the other one is external, which I already told you. So in case of female urethra, this is the internal sphincter and this is the external sphincter. In case of male urethra, this is the internal sphincter and here is the external sphincter. Nerve supply of urinary bladder and sphincter. Before the nerve supply, you need to know the basics of nervous system. There are two types of nervous system, autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system controls all the involuntary movements of the internal organs like heartbeat and the movement of intestine, etc. That is, the autonomic nervous system is not under our control. It is an involuntary system. And the somatic nervous system controls all the voluntary movements, which is under our control. So somatic nervous system is under our control and the autonomic nervous system is an involuntary system which is not under our control. The autonomic nervous system is again divided into two types of nerves. They are sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic nerves. Here our urinary bladder and the internal sphincter are supplied by the autonomic nervous system. Both type of nerves, sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. So urinary bladder and the internal sphincter are supplied by the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions of autonomic nervous system. So it means the urinary bladder and the internal sphincter are not under our control. It is under involuntary control as it is supplied by the autonomic nervous system. And coming to the external sphincter, it is supplied by the somatic nervous system which is under our control. So here in the process of urination, only the external sphincter is under our control as it is supplied by the somatic nervous system, whereas the urinary bladder and the internal sphincter are not under our control as it is getting supplied by the autonomic nervous system. So here we can clearly understand that if we are holding our urine, we are doing it as we are having the control over external sphincter by somatic nervous system. So if this somatic nervous system fails to work, we will be not able to hold back our urine as we lose our control over the external sphincter, and the internal sphincter and the urinary bladder are under our involuntary control which will void our urine automatically. So moving on to the sympathetic nerve supply of urinary bladder and internal sphincter. Already we know that urinary bladder and the internal sphincter are supplied by the autonomic nervous system. Under that, we are going to see the sympathetic nerve. The sympathetic nerve arises from the L1 and L2 spinal cord is called as hypogastric nerve, and this hypogastric nerve supplies the detrusor muscle and the internal sphincter of urinary bladder. So here is the hypogastric nerve which supplies the detrusor muscle of urinary bladder and the internal sphincter of urinary bladder. So in this diagram, this red color region is the internal sphincter and this white color part is the urethra. Again this red color part is external sphincter. This is the body of urinary bladder which is having detrusor muscle. The functions of sympathetic nerve, that is the hypogastric nerve, it causes, whenever the hypogastric nerve is stimulated, it causes relaxation of detrusor muscle and contraction of internal sphincter. We can imagine that what will happen if the detrusor muscle is relaxed and the internal sphincter is contracted. This helps in filling the urinary bladder. That is, the urine which is coming from the kidneys are getting filled in the urinary bladder as the internal sphincter is closed. So this nerve is called as nerve of filling. As this nerve is helping in filling the urinary bladder, this nerve is called as nerve of filling. Our hypogastric nerve, sympathetic nerve of autonomic nervous system, is called as nerve of filling. Moving on to the parasympathetic nerve supply of urinary bladder and urethra. Pelvic nerve called a parasympathetic nerve called pelvic nerve arises from the S2, S3 and S4 spinal cord, supplies the urinary bladder wall, that is the detrusor muscle, and the internal sphincter. Other than this supply, this pelvic nerve is also having sensory nerve fibers in the urinary bladder and the urethra. These sensory fibers carries impulses from the bladder wall and the urethra. When these are getting stimulated, there is a lot of stretch receptors present on the wall of urinary bladder and in the wall of urethra. Whenever these stretch receptors are getting stimulated, an impulse will be sent to the spinal cord through this pelvic nerve. So the pelvic nerve is having motor supply for detrusor muscle and the internal sphincter. Other than that, the pelvic nerve is having sensory nerve fibers in the urinary bladder wall and the urethra. These sensory nerve fibers carries impulses from the stimulation of stretch receptors present in those parts. So moving on to the functions of parasympathetic nerve called pelvic nerve. Whenever the pelvic nerve is stimulated, it causes contraction of detrusor muscle and relaxation of internal sphincter. That is quite opposite to the hypogastric nerve. So you can imagine that contraction of detrusor muscle and the relaxation of internal sphincter will result in voiding of urine. So whenever the detrusor muscle is getting contracted and the internal sphincter is relaxed, urine will enter the urethra from the urinary bladder as the internal sphincter is relaxed. This helps in emptying the urinary bladder during micturition. So this nerve is called as nerve of micturition, as this nerve is helping the process of micturition. Moving on to the somatic nerve supply of external sphincter. Only our external sphincter is having somatic nerve supply. That somatic nerve is called as pudendal nerve, and it arises from the S2, S3 and S4 of spinal cord. Here arises the somatic nerve supply called pudendal nerve. This pudendal nerve supplies the external sphincter. This is the only part which is under our voluntary control, external sphincter. Function of pudendal nerve: it maintains the external sphincter constricted always by contracting the skeletal muscle of the external sphincter. So this is the nerve which keeps the external sphincter closed always. During micturition, this nerve is inhibited. The function of this nerve is inhibited, which causes the relaxation of external sphincter, that leading to voiding of urine. So this nerve is responsible for the voluntary control of micturition. Now we know the basic anatomy of urinary bladder and urethra and the nerve supply of urinary bladder and urethra. So moving on to the micturition reflex. Micturition reflex is a reflex by which micturition occurs. When about 300 to 400 ml of urine is collected in the urinary bladder, the pressure inside the bladder, called as intravesical pressure, it increases. This pressure increase will stretch the wall of the urinary bladder, resulting in stimulation of the stretch receptors present in the wall of the bladder. And those stretch receptors will stimulate an impulse, and those impulses are sent to the spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. So we already know that pelvic nerve is having sensory fibers which receives stimulation of stretch receptors from the wall of the urinary bladder. So when the urinary bladder is stretched, the impulses produced in the wall of the urinary bladder will reach the spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. So as a result, our spinal cord generate motor impulses which reaches the urinary bladder and internal sphincter through the pelvic nerve, which causes the contraction of detrusor muscle and relaxation of internal sphincter. So moving on to the micturition reflex, that is how the micturition is happening. Whenever about 300 to 400 ml of urine is filled in the urinary bladder, it will stretch the urinary bladder wall. So when the wall is getting stretched, the stretch receptors present on the wall will get stimulated, and the stretch receptors will send an impulse to the sacral segment of spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. As a result, the sacral segment of spinal cord will send an motor impulse through the pelvic nerve. The pelvic nerve will stimulate the contraction of detrusor muscle and the relaxation of internal sphincter. Whenever a motor impulse reaches the pelvic nerve, it will contract the detrusor muscle and the relaxation of internal sphincter. So relaxation of internal sphincter with the contraction of detrusor muscle will cause enter of urine into the urethra. So relaxation of internal sphincter will allow the urine to enter into the urethra. And when the urine is passing through the urethra, the stretch receptor present on the wall of urethra will get stimulated, and it will send an impulse to the sacral segment of spinal cord through the pelvic nerve, and as a result our spinal cord will inhibit the function of pudendal nerve, which is constricting the external sphincter. So whenever the stretch receptor present on the urethral wall is getting stimulated, it will send an impulse to the sacral segment of spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. That impulse will cause inhibition of pudendal nerve. Inhibition of pudendal nerve will result in the relaxation of external sphincter. Function of pudendal nerve is constricting the external sphincter. Inhibition of pudendal nerve will result in relaxation of external sphincter, and the relaxation of external sphincter will result in urination. So this is how urination, that is micturition, is happening. Now here is a flow chart for micturition reflex. At first, the filling of urinary bladder will occur. When a urinary bladder is completely filled, it will stretch the receptors on the wall of the urinary bladder, and stimulation of stretch receptors will produce an impulse which is sent to the sacral segment of spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. The impulse reach the sacral segment of spinal cord, and efferent impulse pass from the spinal cord through the pelvic nerve. Pelvic nerve as a result contract the detrusor muscle and relax the internal sphincter. Relaxation of internal sphincter and the contraction of detrusor muscle will result in the flow of urine into the urethra. When the urine is passing through the urethra, it will stimulate the stretch receptors present on the wall of urethra. So it will result in the stimulation of stretch receptors in the urethra, and those those impulse will send to the spinal cord through the pelvic nerve, and when the impulse reaches the spinal cord, it produces an efferent impulse which inhibits the pudendal nerve, and the pudendal nerve inhibition will result in the relaxation of external sphincter, and the external sphincter relaxation will result in urine flow. So this is how micturition occurs.